garage doors done right. Our goal is
in the house. We're going to find out who's going to fill that chair coming up momentarily.
Oh,
we got a lot
is it
to
a
talk
surprise?
About. I don't know.
Okay.
We got a lot to talk about. Pistons are playing right now.
Yes.
Good matchup, Orlando. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. Obviously, the big news that broke today, Aiden Hutchinson getting a new deal from the Lions, 4-year extension, $180 million, $141 million guaranteed. Wasn't a question of if, it was a question of when, and we got the when today. We're going to talk about that. Let's bring him in. Tim Twentyman, team reporter for the Detroit Lions, DetroitLions.com. What up, TT?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
So, we're doing well. Probably not as well as Aiden tonight.
Not as well as Aiden today, no.
He's doing all right, man. But look, we knew this was coming. It was just a question of when and what the number was. And I wonder, did that number get toggled a little bit, do you think, when Micah Parsons signed his deal with Green Bay?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, you always see that when the quarterback signed and when Jared was lined up, you saw one was the highest paid, and then a couple weeks later, the next one was the highest paid, and so forth and so on. We know how that goes. But look, Aiden got the guaranteed money, and that's what players and agents really shoot for. You know, Micah Parsons is going to make, I think, a couple million more per year than Hutch, but the $141 million is the highest guaranteed for a non-quarterback in NFL history, and that's money that Aiden is guaranteed to him no matter what happens through 2030. So that's the big money. That's the one the players care about. And look, Dan, you guys know, you've been around. It's so much deserved. He is everything that embodies this team, this grit mantra, this everything that is right about the Detroit Lions the last few years. And really since Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell got here, he's one of their guys. He's one of their core pieces. And now he's locked up for a long time, like a lot of their other core pieces. And I think that's huge for this team.
And Tim, when you look around and you see quarterback, we normally say left tackle, but with the Lions, we'll just say tackle because the guy that plays right tackle is really good on this team. And then you talk about edge rushers. Those are the guys that tend to get paid the big bucks. We knew this was going to be a huge deal because Aiden is one of a few guys in this league that plays that position that can change a game on any snap. Any snap. And that's what they're paying for.
Yeah, 100%. You just look at this defense with Aiden Hutchinson and what he means for everybody around it, not just the guys along that defensive line, but the linebackers and the secondary too. Look at how they played defense without him for that stretch last year, and look at how they played the 5 games before he was gone, and then the 7 games they've played this year. I mean, defensively, they're top 5 in the league in sacks. They're top 5 in pressures. They've got 2 guys on the edge, and Aiden and Al-Qadim Muhammad, who have 11 sacks. I mean, he just makes everything operate so much more smoothly. Offenses have to deal with him, and that opens up things for Aleem McNeil, who we've only now seen for 1 game. He's going to continue to get better, and it's just, you said it, quarterbacks, left tackles, and guys that can get after the quarterback are the elite positions in this league. And when you got one, you hold on to it, like Detroit did with Penei Sewell, like they did with Aiden Hutchinson, and like they did with Jared Goff. Those are the 3 key pieces there, and you lock those guys up.
Yeah, I did see a lot of, let's say, tongue-in-cheek tweets today about, oh, Dallas, so this is how it's done. You take your game-breaking defensive end and you sign him to a contract and keep him around. I mean, the Lions weren't letting this guy go anywhere. Tim, look, you've been around this team for a long time. You were a beat writer before you were working as the team reporter. There was so many years, Tim, where there were no second contracts to be given out in this organization because guys would get drafted, they would come in here, they would flame out and not be worthy of these deals that we're seeing with the Lions. I mean, this is, what are we approaching, $1 billion in second contracts? This is what this team has done in terms of not just drafting, but developing players. And these guys that have gotten it, from Amon-Ra to Kirby to Penei, and I don't want to forget anybody, on down the line to Aleem, they're all at or near the top of their position group in terms of how they're regarded. What they've done in terms of building talent on this depth chart is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and they're their guys, right? And Dan, you've been along for a long time too. You've watched this team and you've seen the culture change too. Talking about Ndamukong Suh and leaving, and it was going to have to be the richest contract and everything else. I mean, these guys want to be here.
Yeah.
What Sheila Hamp has built here, and what Rod and his group, and right down to Brad and Dan. There's a culture here that people want to be a part of. There are free agents that want to come play here. And when you talked about, I think after the Aiden signing, you had a great tweet. It was draft, develop, and sign, and that's the philosophy here. And when you're really good at drafting, now you've got guys that you've built a core around that know your culture, that know how you want to play football and what the standard is. And those guys become the best players in the league at their positions, like you mentioned. And then you get a chance to re-sign them. It just speaks to me about the culture that's been built here with this Detroit Lions team and this staff, and how the players have bought in, and how everybody wants to be a part of it moving forward. And that's why you're getting all these re-signings. A lot of these guys didn't wait till they could become free agents to go see what the market was and to maybe try to get a few more bucks in that top dollar. Now, Detroit stepped to the plate and paid a lot of those guys top dollar. But a lot of those guys made it very clear that they wanted to be here. And that's a change from what you and I and people who have been around a long time have seen in the past.
I had a question. Talking to some Lions fans today, a lot of people are very thrilled, obviously, that they're spending all this money. With the salary cap going up, they can afford it. However, are they getting to a point where there will be no middle class on this team, where they still have Laporta, they have Branch, they have Jack Campbell, they have guys they need to sign. Gibbs. When they do this, is it going to be, okay, you're top heavy, and now you're just going to have to rely on the drafting and these young players in that lower class to still make it work?
No, it's a really good question and a valid point, because, like Dan mentioned, we're getting toward $1 billion here in re-signs. So I think there's a couple things here. One, you take a look at the salary cap, and I was curious after this one came down, just kind of what the growth of the cap has looked like. And over the last 2 years alone, it's gone up $55 million, from $224 million to $279 million. There's some TV deals that are coming. I think that salary cap is going to go up exponentially, over the next few years. And then, look, there's ways to get around, salary cap too. You turn base salary into a signing bonus, and you can create cap space that way. But to your point, I think you have to feel good about this team just because of the way that Brad Holmes has drafted. And there's going to have to be some of that moving forward. You're going to have to get guys on rookie deals that come in and step up and be your depth and be those second tier players for you. But in terms of the cap and re-signing guys, like, I think Brian Branch is a priority. At least he is to me. I think he's, one of the most versatile defenders in the game, and a guy that's valuable to this defense. I think there are ways to get those guys signed with the cap going up and doing some maneuvering that you can get it. But it is going to be important, because you've spent this much money, that they continue to draft well and continue to get contributions from guys like we've seen in the last two draft class that have now become the depth and some starters next to really key high-paid superstars.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. And I think, Tim, we can sit here and say, based on what we've seen since he walked in the door, there is a plan. And they understand what they're spending, how they're going to have to maybe restructure some deals, and what they're going to have to do to get these other guys in the fold as well. And maybe not everybody is going to be here for the long term. And I'm not just talking about guys that are up. There may be some guys under contract now that are not here for the long term. But Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Charlie, Mike Disner, Rod Wood, Chris Spielman, these guys have a plan. This isn't something that's sneaking up on them.
No, 100%. And Mike Disner and his group there, they're really good at the salary cap and getting under it and structuring these deals and having space to be flexible if something happens with injuries like we saw last year. And so they're very forward thinking. There's estimations on what the cap will go up, and they've certainly done their due diligence. But I think the key part of this is look, you've drafted these guys, you've developed them, now you re-sign them, they become your core, and this is now your franchise for the next 4 or 5 years, where you think you can be a consistently young and winning football team, and that's what's important for this team and this regime is sustained success. And I think by doing it this way and locking your core guys, the guys that are going to show up every day on Thursday, Sunday, Monday, whenever it is, that they're your guys, they're the guys you're going to roll with, and getting them locked in, I think is so key. But they're going to continue to have some flexibility. There's a lot of smart people up there dealing with the salary cap.
And Tim, you also, here's the thing, and we've seen this organization try it the other way, going out free agency, trying to buy teams. Man, you never know what you're getting. And because a guy can excel in one system and then hit the free agent market, there is zero guarantee that he will work in your system. And how often do we see teams that win the league in March and then a year or two later are shedding those contracts? The way they've done it, bringing in a DJ Reed, bringing in a DJ Reader, being, let's say, choosy and judicious in how you spend your money, because the other way just doesn't work. It is fraught with the potential for massive error.
Yeah, there's a ton of free agency regret in there, and you have to be very particular in the guys that you bring in. They have to fit your culture. But, when you're talking about Penei and Amon-Ra and Derek Barnes and Aleem and all these guys that you've drafted and have now re-signed, you know what you're getting. Yeah. You know how they fit. You know how they prepare. You know everything about them and how they fit into your team. And that's, I think, how you have sustained success for a long, long time. Now, free agency is important, don't get me wrong. And you have to supplement with guys like DJ Reed, who's a great example, I think, by you, who just completely fits, right? A man-covered corner coming to a team that plays man, steps up and plays the run and just fits Calvin Shepard's defense. That's what you need in free agency. Was he super high priced? No. I mean, he's a highly paid cornerback, but he's not in the upper 5-6 cornerbacks in the league, but he's a great piece that fits you. That's a great example of selective free agency. And then what we talked about before, draft. And you supplement in the draft, you develop more guys. And then if you have to make some hard decisions, the hope is, well, I've got another guy that I drafted 2 years ago who's got a couple years left, who's really developed, who's ready to step into a bigger role, and we can make that tough decision then. That's how you have long-term sustained success, and that's what they're setting up here with these deals. And guys, I think it's just exciting because it's still such a young football team.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Aiden Hutchinson at 25, Brian Branch is 24, what's Gibbs 24? I mean, even Amon-Ra just turned 26 last week, I think. All these core pieces that we're talking about are still really young players in their prime, and that's got to excite Lions fans that these guys are locked up for a long time, and they're their core pieces, and they know they're going to be their core pieces for a long, long time.
Tim, I got a question for you because I'm the only non-sports guy here. I'm the weather guy and a fan. Everything you're saying, it sounds right on the money. The salaries, the players, the quality of players, but there's pressure. I mean, there is pressure to produce
you're in a
team,
window.
yeah, a team
window
that's going to go in deep into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think that year is this year. I think the expectations are high for all of us fans. I mean, again, you're professional sports guys, but for fans who watch every Sunday, we would love to see a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they've nibbled at it, but you certainly, and here's the thing, just to kind of piggyback off what Rich is saying, you got guys coming back. It feels like this thing is setting up. You got to go earn it, but it feels like this thing is setting up for this team to be stronger as the year goes on, whereas last year, man, they were spitting oil with all those defensive guys out.
Yeah, 100%. The health is the key part to that. And I agree with you, 100%. There is pressure to win and produce, especially when you sign players like this and you have deals like that. But I think this team is set up to win for a long, long time. I think the injuries played a part of last year. 15-2, obviously, during the regular season was huge. And then you saw them sputter in the playoffs. And I really think those injuries caught up with them, especially defensively. I think this team is more set up now for the 2023 run, where we saw them win that first playoff game, win their first division, get to an NFC championship game. It maybe surprised some people in around the league. But then to come back the next year, be 15-2, and then the injuries just caught up with him. I view this team more like the 2023 team when they were healthy and humming and were rolling late in the season, to the 2024 team that, like Dan said, I thought it was a good expression there. They were leaking some oil, especially defensively. So if this team stays healthy, I think those are fair expectations. And I think those are expectations that are in that building at the Meyer Performance Center. And I think as a fan, you should appreciate that those are the expectations in the building too, that they want to win. They expect to win. There's a standard, and they're not going to lower the standard for anything, even when the injuries happened last year, even though they understood, the challenges that were there.
Yeah, Tim, I know I'm a homer, but I'll just leave you with this. It's fun to watch the competence. It's fun to watch the plan. It's fun to watch these guys work, because we've seen a lot of things that wasn't fun to watch. And this is good stuff. This is a good day when you sign a guy like Aiden to a contract like this. It's a good day for the organization. It's a good day for the city. It's a good day for the Hutchinson family, so we wish them all well. But this is good stuff, man. This is what you want to do, is keep your players because they're good. Tim, we appreciate it, brother. Good stuff, man. We'll check you out on DetroitLions.com, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys, anytime.
Appreciate it very much. Tim Twentyman joining us right there. You can catch his stuff on DetroitLions.com. And guys, we've been through it. You've been here as long as I have. You've been here as long as I have. There was some miserable times where you just felt like management had no idea what they were doing. And they were
doing a pregame show,
reaching for that.
Doing a pregame show every year when they were 3-9 was painful.
Not fun.
Painful.
Yeah. Not fun. Yeah. This is fun. It's competence. It is these people that are building something. Zeke, fire up that thing, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
You got something for me?
Yeah.
But we're so overdue for a break.
We're way late for a break.
Oh,
just give me a quick tap one out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Take a break. Come right back. Sports Office. Hey, join us via the Zoom link, and you may be coming up next in the show. Zebo playing us back in. Don't forget, tomorrow night we got Deep Thoughts with Z. more than a musician, knows life. You can join us via the Zoom room. All you got to do is right there. Right there. Click on that link.
He's getting better.
Then you'll come over here to Sandra, and she will have you in the Zoom room, and she will tell us who to go to, and we will invite you in. If you're in the Zoom room, turn on your camera. If you've got your camera on, we can put you on. But if you don't have your camera on, we don't know what you're going to do, so we can't put you on. We were just sitting here talking a second ago. You were reminiscing about 2023.
I still have nightmares about that.
You got to bring up old stuff.
NFC Championship game.
Oh.
Yeah. No, and man, that's.
I mean, that's sports. The highs are the highs, the lows are the lows.
How difficult it is to finish. How difficult it is to be one of the two teams and then the one team that is standing at the end. And when you're in it, you know, sometimes you don't realize it, and you're 17 points up at the half. And I honestly, I knew there was 30 minutes to go. I did not get carried away in what I thought was possible because I'd seen some things. But it just, you know, it does give you an appreciation for teams like Kansas City or New England for all those years that made it a habit to go in there and do that.
So hard.
Yeah.
Yes, so hard.
Which is just crazy. And there's still so much work that has to be done this year with what this team has to put together.
But Tim had a point in comparing this team to 2023 because that's what I'm feeling right now. Because last year, you know, if that defense was intact, they can overcome Goff having an off game against the Commanders because the Commanders, their defense and their offense was really good, but you know, it was still fairly close for most of that game.
There's moments, too, that you look at in that San Francisco game. People go back to the Reynolds drops. People go back to the fumble by Gibbs and the mix-up with Jared there. And in that Washington game, I think it was first or second quarter, you've got the ball with a chance to go up 2 scores, and you had the sack fumble. And that was a huge turnaround, that you had an opportunity to get something done there. But it's, you know, and there are plays that change games. And
Jared at the end of the half, the pick in the end zone where he was looking for J-Mo, you know, that's 6 inches more outside, and maybe Sanders still doesn't get it. It's a touchdown. They got the momentum, and so it's so close.
Yeah, there are things that have to happen, and they're into a stretch here where you've got 10 games left, and Dan Campbell talks about this, where, you know, now you're going. There's no stop. There's no bye. It's 10 weeks. You're trying to win the division title. You're behind Green Bay right now. Somebody was asking me today, do you think that division title is going to come down to Thanksgiving Day? And I said, that'll be part of it, but there's so much more to it. These teams are going to beat each other up. This division is tough. There will be multiple losses by somebody. I'm still not going to be surprised if that division winner has 5 losses somewhere along the way. I mean, there's a lot of football left out there. The Lions have tough games coming up. They have Washington, they have Philadelphia. You have Dallas coming up. You've got all your division games still to play. So there's a lot left out there.
But think about the excitement we have to look forward to. I mean, that you know, from Thanksgiving to Christmas. I mean,
Thanksgiving too.
I mean, it's exciting. It's football. Our team is going to be in it, hopefully. And I love it. I love that.
It's a lot different. It gives you an appreciation for being there.
Yes.
And it gives you probably a chance to kind of reflect back on all the time. You knew it was bad when this team wasn't good, but probably when you're living a better life, you understand how much better it actually is. That you're living this, you have a competent team with competent leadership that is able to draft good players, develop good players, and make things happen.
It's not just a one-year wonder where it's like, this is our 1 year to do it.
And it's not like saying, well, if this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens, they might be able to win 8 games. It's a lot different than that. So
very exciting. I'm a football guy. Very exciting.
We're going to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to come right back.
Okay.
We're going to check the Zoom room. We'll see if the folks are there. Z's going to play us out because we have 1 break left. We're going to come back. We'll check in on the Pistons. We'll talk about that. Got World Series game coming up tonight as well. So by all means, you're on the Sports Office. Keep it right here. We are back, Sports Office. Let's check the Zoom room. We got Paul who's joining us tonight. Paul, somewhere in that dark. Look at what's up, Paul.
I see a hand.
What's going on? This is you're
He's
on
on
mute.
Unmute.
You got your microphone. Your microphone's not on.
We got 30 seconds
Ah,
left.
look at
Yay!
Paul. We got 30 seconds left in the show, man. What's going on?
Get your glasses on. There you go.
There it is.
What's up, Paul?
Still muted.
Oh, he's still muted. Paul, call us back next time, man. We got to figure out that microphone issue. By the way, Pistons tonight, 18-13, they trail the match. This is a good matchup between two of the best young teams in the Eastern Conference. We got World Series game number 5, and we will have highlights when we see you on the stream at 10 and after the baseball game as well. For Lutz, for
Thank
Greg,
you. Thank you
for
all.
Z, for Sandra, for Jeff. Peace.
Yay.